Welcome to the Prime Real Estate Network channel on YouTube. I'm your host, Mr. Prime Real Estate, Ric Davis.
And I'm your host, the Texas Real Estate King, Larry W. Brooks.
Every week, the King and I will provide you exclusive access to our network of lenders, investors, and real estate professionals from both the commercial and residential real estate sectors.
Now, are you millionaire minded? Or maybe you're a millionaire in the making. Make sure that you subscribe so you can get connected to the network. And always remember, the Prime Real Estate Network, where millionaires are in the making.
Create wealth for generations.
What's up, Prime Real Estate Network listeners? It's your man, Larry W. Brooks, a.k.a. the Texas Real Estate King. Hey, when you get a moment, go ahead and go over to shoplwb.com. You can see the Pure Hustle merchandise that we had over there, some of our newer items that we have in stock, and of course, I got all the books that I've authored. I'd love for your support. You have a great day.
Good day. Welcome to the Prime Real Estate Network Live. I'm your host, Ric Davis. If you don't follow me on social media, I invite you to do so at Prime Real Estate Ric. If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in residential or commercial real estate anywhere in the great state of Texas, but especially here in our lovely city of Houston, you can reach me directly on Instagram at Prime Real Estate Ric. As always, it's an honor and a pleasure to be here with you this week, and we have a really exciting show planned for you all. Hey, man, before we start today's show, I want to invite everyone who's checking us out live to get involved. If you're checking us out on YouTube or Facebook, you can leave myself or the Texas Real Estate King a relevant real estate question in the comments section, and you never know, your question may be answered on today's show. Man, I want to take a little time to introduce my co-host. He is not only a highly successful real estate broker, he's a multi-time author, serial entrepreneur, and the proud proprietor of the Pure Hustle clothing brand. I want to thank him so much for sitting in this week on Prime Real Estate Network Live, and I'd like to introduce the Texas Real Estate King, Mr. Larry W. Brooks. How are you?
Yo, man, I'm good. No complaints at all, man. Just, fighting through the cold that we done had down here in the city of Houston, man. How was that challenge with you and the fam over there with it?
Man, it's funny because, we brought all the family together.
Okay.
We had all of the people who most important to me were all in one place. So
Yeah.
from that standpoint, I was able to relax, not necessarily have to worry about having to do any emergency trips or look out from that standpoint. So from that standpoint, I definitely feel like I was blessed.
Yeah.
We've been having a few freezes like once a year now. So
Yeah.
I got the pipes already wrapped up from the last time. So
yeah, and that's a smart thing, man.
Was already taken.
Yeah, that's a smart thing. If you ain't got no reason to unwrap them, go unwrap them. Mine was already wrapped too. I ain't had no reason to have them unwrapped. So, but not only that, it's just I think the city. I commend the city and the county on standing on business this time. They were prepared. We had people come in from other cities, other states. So we had Centerpoint was on watch. So. And then not only that, I want to commend just the Houstonians and the only challenges that I saw on the road were people that were not from Houston that decided they wanted to get out there and try those roads. But Houstonians, people that was here in the city, they did a good job at just staying away from the roads. I mean, everything was shut down anyway. Why get outside and put, yourself and, first responders in any kind of jeopardy. So I think that was really, really good. But I also enjoyed watching the videos of people playing in the snow through our Instagram. And, I don't know if you saw that one where they made Herman Park, the hill at Herman Park, they made that kind of like a downhill slope. I was like, look at the bunny hill out there.
It was sleds and whatnot.
If I stayed a little closer, man, I'd have got on my ski board, man, and hit the slopes with them. But, that was a little bit of a hike for me.
That reminds me of those times back in East Texas when it used to snow.
Yeah.
And everybody would take the slides and slide down the hill at the football stadium. So it took me back to those days of our youth, man. I appreciate you for sharing, man. It's great that the city of Houston was spared for the most part. It wasn't as bad as it could have been.
Yep.
It seems like everything is getting back to normal. So big, huge shout out, like you said, to the city of Houston, the mayor's office, and the city works for making sure everything as far as keeping this city up and going was put in place. Larry, today's episode I'm really excited about because we have an opportunity to not only interview like one of the entrepreneurs and business owners that we feel like is at the forefront of helping those in the real estate industry here locally. But, you know, we're always excited when we have an opportunity to interview a guest for the second time.
Yeah.
One of the great things about hosting this platform, which was that we've been watching entrepreneurs, business owners grow, scale, and take their brands, their companies to that next level. And it's so inspiring. So for the members of our audience who haven't had an opportunity to watch our previous interview or haven't been introduced to this week's guest, can you share a little bit about our background with her and how we were able to gain her commitment on today's show?
Yeah, man. So, you know, it's I love bringing back the alumni of the Prime Real Estate Network. And I know that our audience are now at the point to where they're looking for us to bring them on and get some updates from what's been going on, some of the changes that they've been doing in their career, the expansion that they've been having in their career. So, you know, it was easy. Reached out to this week's guest, man, and just like in the past, she was ready to come on and share, give the vision of what's going on now in her business, what's going on in the real estate sector that she really works in and perform in, and why it is that she helps real estate professionals like our agents here at Brooks and Davis streamline their business and become successful a lot quicker with partnerships that she has, man. So with that being said, I'm just excited to have our previous guests on. And again, for those of you that this may be your first time seeing it, go back and find one of the previous episodes, see the organic changes that are taking place, the growth that is taking place in not only her business, but our businesses here. So I'm excited to have her on today again with.
No, and without any further ado, I'd like to introduce this week's guest. She is not only one of the most knowledgeable and experienced mortgage brokers in the city of Houston, but she's also a leader in the entrepreneurial space, motivating and inspiring young entrepreneurs every day. I want to thank her so much for sitting in on the Prime Real Estate Network Live, and I'd like to introduce the Mortgage Link Queen, Miss Tatiana Hall. How are you?
Hello, I'm doing well. Thank you. Thank y'all for having me. Back
No doubt
again.
about it. Back again, that part right there, Miss Howell.
No, thank you so much, Ms. Hall, for sitting in, man. For the members of our audience who had a chance to meet you when we first interviewed, had a chance to see you when you co-hosted with me, could you just give them an update? What's been going on in the world of the Mortgage Link Queen? How have your business been growing? And just fill us in as far as what's been going on in your overall bubble.
Well, mortgages, and momming. So I recently had a daughter, my first daughter, but last kid though. Last kid, first daughter. Yeah, so she just recently made 1 year old. So I've taken life slow. I've taken a moment that most entrepreneurs don't, and to stop and really refocus on myself, my family, re-strategize, and really go back and get the momentum going again. Did it before, back again.
Yeah, and I got to ask you, especially with the new baby girl at home, how has your motivation for building your business evolved as you've added children, added the new baby, you have the husband, you have the whole family unit? How does that motivate and inspire you to get up in the morning and give you that extra boost that you may have not necessarily felt before you had your new baby girl?
Honestly, so for me, the biggest thing has been focus, right? So really making me focus on one, what's important. Because if I'm honest, the first go round, it was real money, 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 but which is very important, but it was just I'm trying to chase the dollar. And so this time I've really had a chance to really stop. And now that I have literally my mini me, it's no, I got to reevaluate things because somebody is literally watching me and they're learning womanhood, right, from me. Right. So, with my kids, with my sons, I really just focused on me being an entrepreneur. And it was kind of their daddy gets to show them how to, be a man. I don't have to worry about that. But this really put it into perspective for me. This is much greater than me. And it's more than just entrepreneurship and a dollar. So how do we really bring the focus back so that my life really translates in the business? Because I'm into the business of helping people and I want people to see, right, my life and that is intertwined with what I do.
No, and I appreciate you so much. Speaking of helping people, we're in the first quarter of the year 2025, and Larry and I talk a lot offline about how strong of a buyer's market it is right now. how if you're into new home, if you're into resales, if you're into commercial, there's a lot of value out there. And that's why it was so important to have you as one of our trusted lenders to talk about those opportunities, what you're seeing out there in the mortgage lending space, and what type of programs are now available that may not have been available the last time we had a chance to have you on the show.
Perfect. So, one thing that we really have to put in perspective is that COVID really did a number on us in a lot of ways, especially our economy. So we've witnessed a huge, surge, a boom, and then we're watching it kind of, come make its way back down and truly correct itself. And we think that these things they happen so quickly, but really we see it's been a matter of years. And with that being said, though, a couple of things COVID has done to the Houston market, honestly, is for buyers. The increase in home prices is a beautiful thing for sellers, but buyers have to literally change their perspectives. Buyers are having to wrap their minds around that interest rates look different now. But wow, this same house I could have gotten for, $200,000 less. You know what I mean? Like that's a big difference. And unfortunately, for most buyers, their income hasn't changed too much. So the beautiful part is that means, right, if income's not adjusting, that means entrepreneurship is probably at an all-time high, which is super important. So we do have loan programs that are out there for entrepreneurs. And of course, by way of, I have a couple of traditional A paper type programs. And when we say A paper, that just means your standard conventional and FHA loan programs that are out there where I can really advocate for self-employed borrowers, because that's a big surge, because I need all my money to matter. Right, not just what Uncle Uncle Sam may or may not see. So we have those programs to help self-employed borrowers. And then I have this really new amazing program that actually this first quarter we're rolling it out, and it's called the DPA Advantage Program. It's a completely free, non-repayable, because a lot of the times, you guys, down payment assistance, it costs a lot of money. I don't know if you guys know that or not. Typically, you have to repay it. The interest rate is usually 2 times higher than what your current interest rate is, or 2 points higher rather than what your current rate is. So it's very expensive money that you borrow. But with this program, it's a completely free grant, so it's forgivable, and it does require a 620 credit score. So typical standard run of the mill. It's from 2 to 3.5%. So that means the FHA loan would be ideal for it. It is going to be for owner occupied. So somebody who wants to live in a property. But y'all ready for this about the program? Like, besides the repayable, non-repayable, it supports up to 4 units,
Oh,
multifamily.
okay. So you can do like a house hack with that thing. No doubt about
Yes,
it.
now,
Okay.
but you do have to. The big thing to remember, though, it does have to be owner occupied. So
Owner
you would
occupied, yeah.
occupy at least 1 unit of the property, but up to 4 units. Up to 4 units. I'm so excited about this program.
Now, is the program tied to first-time homebuyers, or is not? Is it not? What's the sketch to it?
So they can still qualify even if they're not first-time home buyers. Of course, it does seek out first-time home buyers and those who may be having more struggles to access home ownership. But we do have ways to still get you qualified if you're not a first-time home buyer, for sure.
Okay, yeah, I like that program. Sure.
What makes this information stand out to me is that, and Larry can speak to this as well, not only as a realtor but also as a business owner and entrepreneur. There have been so many roadblocks and challenges for self-employed business owners as far as acquiring a residential property in the past, that it's really a game changer that you guys have removed some of those barriers of entry. So from those entrepreneurs that you've been working with, Ms. Hall, what type of feedback are you getting as far as how thankful they are, how they've been wanting to invest in real estate for so long but haven't been able to actually get in the game from that standpoint? Could you just talk about how it's added value to those business owners and entrepreneurs' lives and how it's helped things for them and their family?
Yeah, so The biggest thing that I really hear from my clients that have utilized, right, these house hacks, I should say, because a lot of times they're buying a multifamily when they are investing. But one story that really sticks out is actually a single family home, and she was a real estate agent as well, but she was new to the area, looking to just figure it out. And she just kind of jumped out here, moved from California, like on a whim. She brought her family, and she just went for it. And less than a year being here, I helped her to purchase her. Well, it was an investment property, but she purchased it for her mother, right? And she was literally having tears of joy, just saying, "I did it. I bought my mama a house. I bought my mama her house." So, they did eventually decide to go ahead and move back to California. Um, and now that's their property. She's renting it out, so she's actually right seeing it make some money for her. And so she's experiencing that. So she kind of got to have that twofold, like, wow, like I was able to do something for my family that was monumental for me. And now I'm also able to reap the benefits financially for it as well.
Man, that's amazing. And I like to add to that when it comes to that entrepreneur piece or self-employed piece of just being able to find finances. It's a tough balance for us, right? Because we don't want to pay all of our money to the IRS, so we not. So most of the time, you find it's so many write-offs. But when it comes to those programs, like those bank programs where you can, use bank deposits and stuff like that, and I'm pretty sure you have some of those. I think those really work perfectly when it comes to entrepreneurship too, because you can see where some of the money's coming in. Most entrepreneurs in this era should be at a point to where they have some good, strong credit. And so that credit should be able to play off of that as well. But definitely having programs like that for people in our space, it's just even 1099 real estate professionals, right? They're really trying to find ways to write off their marketing budget, gas budget, and things like that, and just systems that they need budget, but being able to also still be able to purchase a home, like you said, with that young lady that came here, got into real estate. I think that was amazing.
Yeah. I do have programs, those non-traditional programs that you mentioned as well,
Yeah.
that help borrowers. I do want to make sure that when we use those sorts of programs, we have to understand that when we use those sorts of programs, they do typically require us to be a little bit more cash heavy, but they are honestly the easiest way to get the money that's out here to purchase what you need. So start thinking right now, to everybody listening and watching and working for yourself, especially I know your realtors and real estate agents are they're watching this. Start a little savings fund so that when you are ready, you're not trying to catch up. You're ready to pull the trigger. Let's go.
No doubt. Yes, indeed.
And I know Larry and we thanked you before we brought you online for appearing on the show for a second interview. You've co-hosted with me. And I spoke to you a little bit about this offline, but I want to share this with everybody in the audience. We get such positive feedback after you sit in with us, and that people talk about how warm and inviting and how you seem like a friend that they've had, or you may remind them of a cousin. I wanted to ask you, do you get that a lot in your regular comings and goings? And secondly, especially with the mortgage piece being so invasive for some people, how they reveal things to you that they may not reveal to friends and family. How has your demeanor or your bedside manner, you think, helped to allow your clients to be more forthcoming with you, to be more open, and to be more transparent? Because that can be so important, especially in the lending field.
Oh, that's so true. Well, I do actually get a lot that I remind somebody of somebody else. I hadn't really looked at it in that perspective that you presented it, that it's really just, likability or just familiarity. But I think that that's really cool. So now I'm over here like, okay, let me use this to my advantage. But with that being said, I do believe that. I'm sorry. Repeat your last question. I kind of have a
No,
panic.
how does that allow them to be more forthcoming and open
Gotcha.
and
So
transparent?
thank you for that. I'm sorry. I had like a
Yeah.
mommy's brain moment or something.
Oh,
All
it
right,
wasn't you.
but
He asked about 7 questions at one time. That wasn't you. It was him.
okay. Okay, good. I'm not tripping. Okay. So they tend to be forthcoming with me, honestly, because I'm forthcoming with them. right? And that's I started off that way, and I do think that me being a mortgage broker also lends itself to being a safe zone, because the one thing that I always kind of advertise about myself is that I don't work for a bank, I work for you. So what you share with me, we kind of got that like client attorney,
Mm-hmm.
confidentiality. So whatever you share with me, this is between us. Then we decide what to take to the bank or what not to take to the bank. We get to make that decision together. So they also get to feel empowered, right? Because wait, I know I told you that, but I don't think I don't want to, go any further with that, or maybe this may jeopardize, something else. They get a moment to stop and think, and it's not just what it is. They get to be a part of the decision making.
And
No,
that's what is important because, and I always tell when, whatever buyers are coming in and looking to get financed, I'm always saying be as honest as you most possibly can with your mortgage broker, because they're going to be the ones that's going to help you explain different programs for you, right? Like if you come in with your own scenario of what you think someone may your preceding notions, then you might end up in the wrong loan vehicle. So when you're sitting down with your mortgage broker, I always tell people it's important that you just be as honest as you most possibly can. Lay it all out on the table so that now everyone knows, like you said, which directions to go into, what you may need to change, or what they may need to spend more time on fixing. All of those different scenarios that come up. But honesty, when talking to your mortgage broker, should be the first thing out your mouth. Mm-hmm.
no, that's I agree totally. It's really cool when the lender, the client, and the buyer's agent have that synergy as far as communication and a relationship. In my experience working with you, that's something that's always been so seamless. Yep. So I just wanted to give you an opportunity to talk about that during the show, so that maybe those people who were interested in buying a home may have been a little nervous about applying online or responding to an email. I want them to put a name with a face and reach out to you directly. So please, Ms. Hall, share your contact information with everyone in the audience so they can know how to set up opportunity to talk to you and hopefully be pre-qualified for a home loan.
Well, the best way is to go to mortgagelinkqueen.com. Okay, that's the best way. There you can start the application. When you start the application, what it does is, one, it really puts you in front of my radar, right? Like I have no choice but to now make you the top priority, because I am human. So DMs are good, text messages are good too, but sometimes those things do get missed. But if you want to initiate that conversation and take that first step and then let me do the rest, the best way is to go to mortgagelinkqueen.com, begin the application. When you start the application, it does not pull your credit. Okay, what it does is it just says, hey, this is kind of what I'm thinking I want to do, and that's okay if you don't really know what you want to do. But it also goes in and it makes me have to be accountable to make sure that I am returning your call, that I'm following up with you, and that I am getting you prepared to be a ready buyer if you aren't currently one, and or getting you to your dream of home ownership, making that thing a reality as soon as we possibly can, if that's what you want to do too.
And I want to
So
make sure I ask you this
mortgagelink.com.
question.
Sorry.
No, perfect, because I want to make sure I ask you this question. This is a question that I've gotten DM'd when people saw that I was going to have you sitting in this week. Are you in a position to mentor, educate, or train other like-minded mortgage professionals? Is that something that you're thinking about, or have people reached out to you directly for that type of tutelage and or mentorship?
Yeah, so it's funny that you asked that, because I have my pride and joy, I like to say. So I have mentored a couple of people, but my favorite one is going to be my little cousin. So she graduated about 3 years ago from high school, and she was like, I need to figure out the way to make some money. So I was like, I got you, girl. I need help. So let me write you, send you a little money every now and then to help me out. But really, what she got to see and witness more than just the mortgage industry for her particularly was really just about being a business owner, taking this thing seriously, how you present yourself, and believing in your ability right before you're even before you know that you're ready. So I was really excited to be able to kind of take her under my wings fresh out of high school when she still is really forming this idea of who I want to be and how I want to, become that person that I want to be. I've also been very fortunate. I've had a couple of loan officer assistants. So yeah, so in the past couple of years, I was able to bring people onto the team, send out my first 1099s. Like I actually had employees. I was excited about that. But the biggest thing for sure though was just really helping them to understand the mentorship. I have noticed as well that a lot of times moms with young children are ones that kind of gravitate towards me. And I really appreciate that. And that's a space that I'm currently in. And so more than just kind of show them how to do it, like we're actually doing it and learning together. So not only do I get to be a mentor, but I also get to be a friend in this thing.
No, and I thank you so much for sharing because I think a lot of times, especially in the financial lending space, that type of interaction and give and take isn't always promoted. So I want everyone that hears your voice and sees this episode to know that if you're interested in finances, if you're interested in mortgages, if you're interested into residential lending, reach out to Miss Tatiana Hall, man, and become a part of her flock. I want to thank you so much, Miss Hall, for sitting in with us like I do every time. And you know I'm going to tell you, if you ever want to sit in with us, if you have anything that you'd like to share with our audience, Larry and I would always love to have you sit in with us. I want to thank you so much, Miss Hall. And from the bottom of our heart, keep doing what it is that you're doing because you're doing great work and you're changing lives every day. So thank you so much, Queen, for sitting in with us.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
Have a great day. Thank you so much.
You too.
Man, we had a great episode. Once again, I want to thank Miss Tatiana Hall, the Mortgage Link Queen. I want to thank the Texas Real Estate King, Mr. Larry W. Brooks. I want to thank our super producer, Jay Joseph, behind the scenes, bringing the Prime Real Estate Network live to you all every Thursday. So on behalf of the entire team and myself, I want to thank you all for checking us out. Until next week, here on Thursday for Prime Real Estate Network Live, please, everyone out there, be safe and be blessed.